Why, hello there, everybody. Just yesterday, we finally got a gameplay trailer for Ed as he appears in Street Fighter 6, and I have not seen it yet, so I am watching it for the first time now. I decided to save it for the live stream so I could watch it with some other people, and I didn't ever bother doing a reaction video or anything for the previous Ed trailer because that was just a little cinematic with no gameplay. And I, along with many other people, am not particularly a fan of Ed, so I didn't really have much to say about his cinematic trailer, but I am much more interested in what his gameplay will be like, right? And on one hand, like I said, I'm not particularly a fan of Ed, and I think a lot of people share that sentiment. But on the other hand, that also makes this kind of exciting because the expectations are so low. There's so much room for improvement, right? With him being such a lame to mediocre character in Street Fighter 5, of course, I'm talking about overall. I don't know how viable he was in Street Fighter 5, but just in terms of an appeal standpoint, with him being so mediocre, there's so much room for him to improve. And even though he still kind of looks weird in this game, just basing it on the design from the last trailer I saw, the cinematic. Even though he still looks really weird, it's definitely an improvement from Street Fighter 5. So if they could improve how he looks a little bit, maybe they could improve everything else as well. So let's see. That was kind of a long intro, but, you know, I feel as if some things have to be said before making a video about Ed. And you guys have seen this already, right? A little bit of the world tour setting. Yeah, he still looks super weird.
I'm not interested in whatever you're pitching.
But it is better.
Really want me to punch a hole through you?
Is it just me, or is the lip sync kind of weird here? Not that it matters much because you won't notice it in gameplay. The voice acting's good though.
I'm not interested in whatever you're pitching. You really want me to punch a hole through you? So, just who are you? You need to learn to stop pissing me off!
So, when does it cut to gameplay? I thought that was going to be the transition. Oh, is that his theme?
I knew there'd be more of you.
It looks better for sure, but you're still like Wins Akuma. Yeah, I think everybody is like Wins Akuma, and I think that's specifically why they put Ed in front of Akuma. Oh, is that the new stage? Neo Shadaloo? But it's in the previous Shadaloo place, right? That's why it's a ruined lab.
Let's go! Ring the bell!
Oh, that was like a flicker jab right there. Kind of like Yamazaki from King of Fighters. I was looking at the stage the whole time, and then I saw that out of my peripheral. But right here, that's like a Yamazaki flicker jab. I think he has different stances. Did he have different stances in Street Fighter 5? Guys, I played very little Street Fighter 5, and I never even touched Ed, but I know his whole gameplay gimmick was that he was essentially a modern control character in Street Fighter 5. So the biggest question in this game, which probably won't be answered in this video, is what are his controls going to be? Because he was already a non-motion input character, so what would be the point of having a classic and a modern version of him, right? But I think he has different stances here. I don't know if that's new or not. All 5 Ed players from Street Fighter 5, all 4 of them can let me know in the comments. But right here, he's kind of in like a hitman stance. And in here, he's in more of a traditional, typical boxing stance. And then here, it's a low stance. Yeah, this is a lot like Yamazaki. I will say this, talking about his character design again, even though I do still think he looks weird, I do think that this is an overall improvement from his design in Street Fighter 5, like I already said, but now I can point out specifically why, now that we're seeing gameplay, or I can point out specific reasons which vindicate me thinking his design is better. So for example, giving him the baggy coat with the skinny jeans actually, I think is really good. Much better character design for a boxer because with him being a boxer, he's not doing his kicks or he's not doing kicks at all, right? He's all about punching. So you want the viewers to focus more on his upper body strength and what his upper body is doing. So having the wide, loose jacket on the top and his legs being thinner makes you immediately think of more upper body stuff when you look at him, right? You're expecting more upper body attacks like punches, which makes sense because he's a boxer, right? Also, with him having leaner legs in terms of the silhouette, it makes the footwork much more apparent. And, you know, footwork is a big part of boxing. So you're able to be impressed with the footwork and the motion capture much more easily when you actually see what the legs are doing. Oh, that's like Marissa's Superman punch. Right there? That's very similar to Marissa's Superman punch because it's literally a Superman punch. The squeaking. Oh, he can destroy projectiles. That's cool. That kind of makes me want to play him a little bit. I'm curious. I'm sure it'll get there, but I'm really curious what Psycho Snatcher is used for. I'm assuming it'll be a level 2 super, right? Psycho Snatcher, I think, is the most interesting part about his kit and the one thing that would kind of interest me in playing him. But seeing how he can destroy projectiles, that's kind of cool. I'm assuming that's like some kind of Rekka, right? It looks kind of similar to something DJ has. Yeah, he can destroy projectiles. Wow, he can get a combo off that. I'm assuming from that range, it has to be a counter hit or something. We don't know because there's no HUD. It doesn't look as if Aki was pressing something though, but they could have just had it, you know, programmed to hit like a counter hit. Because you can do that in training mode. Because if you can get a full combo from that without counter hit, that seems a little OP. Oh, there's a little... Okay, there's Psycho Snatcher stuff. And it does not look like a super. Do you think he has Psycho Snatcher stuff just in... neutral? Without having to expend super meter for it? Okay, after this. He doesn't seem to be in any kind of install state. Oh, that looked like another stance as well. Maybe he gets Psycho Snatcher from a specific stance when his lead hand is down like that. That's pretty cool. It's not a super. Because now you get to use it more, right? Yeah, he has some juking. I never played much of Balrog, so I'm not super familiar with Balrog, but I'm assuming there's probably a little bit more of Balrog in his moveset than before, right? Since Balrog probably isn't getting into this game with Ed getting in first. Okay, so that's his level 1 probably. Oh, see how the stage changes? Okay, here's his ult. I saw a picture of this. It's pretty similar to his ult in Street Fighter V. But just like with his default costume, I think this is also an improvement, even though it's very similar. And it's mostly because I actually went back and looked to see if I was remembering correctly. And this ult in Street Fighter V just has baggy sweatpants. It's just black sweatpants that go down his entire legs. And like I was saying before, his legs being obscured, the silhouette of his legs being obscured by the sweatpants, it really takes away from being able to see the footwork. So him just wearing shorts with a rash guard underneath, I think is a lot better. It automatically makes this better than the previous ult from Street Fighter V. It does make it look maybe a little too similar to Luke because they both kind of have a Does Luke have a rash guard underneath his shorts? I don't think he does, but he does have shorts similar to this in his in one of his outfits. Oh, so that's another way he can beat zoning. I wonder how this matchup... I know I think of this... I say this every time I look at a character in Street Fighter 6. I said this with Aki, I said this with Rashid. But I'll say it again. I wonder how the matchup will be with JP, right? Because look at this. That. He's able to just go through any projectile and skip neutral with that. But presumably it has a lot of startup. But you could probably do that pretty risk-free from full screen and just go through JP stuff probably, right? Oh, I wonder if it crosses up on block. Because it side switches on hit. Oh, there's Psycho Snatcher. That was an EX Snatcher, right? I think it's really cool they made Psycho Snatcher a regular move, or a special move. By regular move, I mean a non-super. Because I was saying, that seemingly to me was the most interesting part of his kit. So if you're able to use it more, that just makes the character more interesting, instead of it just being something you use every now and then in a super. Wasn't it his V-skill or V-trigger or something from Street Fighter V? I always mix those two things up because I barely played any 5, but you know what I'm talking about. What was the nature of that hit there? Okay, yeah, that's a counter hit. Oh, look at that. That looks as if it has a lingering hitbox, and Kin falls into it. Wait, hold on. Okay, looking at that for a second, it looked really similar to a Kikoken fireball. So I was thinking, where did that come from? But no, that's just his own projectile. Dang, he looked as if he has some corner carry there with that combo. I guess the Superman punch definitely helps with that, just like it does with Marissa's corner carry. Yeah, that's some decent corner carry. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so it has a lingering hitbox, and it also destroys projectiles. Almost kind of similar to that one move of Guile's. But obviously it doesn't linger that long. I don't think it's technically a projectile, though. I think it is just a move with projectile destruction properties. Did that projectile beat Kin's? This one? Yeah, so that must have just been a higher level fireball. Right, he might have just hit heavy or medium, and Kin would have hit light or medium. That's not Drive Rush. I think this is actually really interesting to see. It's really interesting to see that Capcom was willing to give a character a forward advancing dash like this in a game that has Drive Rush already. Because before now, I was thinking characters like Makoto would never get into Street Fighter 6 because Makoto's whole thing, one of her, big things is that she has really slow walk speed but really fast dashes, right? And if you were to put her in Street Fighter 6, even though I'm sure a lot of people would like that, it would kind of feel as if she had a little bit of redundancy because of Drive Rush, right? Because everybody in the game can already essentially do Makoto's dash with Drive Rush. So if Makoto were in the game, she wouldn't be unique. She wouldn't be as unique as she normally is in other rosters. So I was thinking, okay, they're not going to do things like that. I was also assuming that's why Geef doesn't have Green Hand in this game, right? But seeing this, it makes me wonder, what is Capcom actually thinking? If they're okay with that, in addition to Drive Rush. Cross up. Okay, I know that's kind of like a Balrog thing. But again, I don't know if Ed had that similarity to Balrog in Street Fighter V. Because like I said, I did not play much of him, or I didn't play any of him in Street Fighter V, and I didn't see him played very much either. So this must be his level 2. Oh, it's a utility. I think his level 2 is a utility super. I think it was a lingering fireball. Did you see that? Yeah, see? Oh, I bet he has some crazy combos with that. Yeah, look, he's juggling him back into the super projectile. He looks as if that'll be that looks as if it'll be really fun to lab. Okay, this must be his level 3. But yeah, just this slow-moving projectile alone and the stuff he does after that, that's pretty inspiring gameplay-wise. Oh, dude, he turns them into a punching bag. He took a note from Abigail. That was one of my favorite things Abigail could do. He could break the fourth wall by grabbing his opponent, shoving their head through the top of the screen as if it were a ceiling, and then he punches them like a bag. So that's what this makes me think of. That's a pretty funny super. Seeing Ken get what he deserves after being so OP. Do they have a release date? Okay, that's the game being available now. Did we get a release date on this? February 27th. Okay, so pretty soon. And I think I will put that on YouTube because that actually was kind of surprisingly nice. Again, maybe it's because expectations were so low with it being Ed. But regardless, I'm going to take that as a win. And I think I actually am interested in playing him. I wasn't interested in playing Rashid. I was kind of interested in playing Aki, but I was busy doing other things at the time that I kind of missed her when she was new. And recently, I guess somewhat recently, when I say recently, I'm talking to the YouTube people, as in between the last time I uploaded a Street Fighter video and now, I actually managed to get Master Rank by playing Modern Zangief exclusively. And that was the main thing I was wanting to work on, so I was focusing on that instead of playing Aki. But now that I have accomplished that, now that I've proven to myself that I can get Master with Modern Zangief, now I can kind of just goof around and play other characters. And so now that I don't have to worry about getting Modern Geef to Master, I think I actually will get Ed on release and play him for a little bit at least to see if I like him. Because I really like being able to destroy projectiles like that since I've been playing Waldstein in Under Night 2 and he has the same sort of gimmick. No Balrog, and now Ibuki in Street Fighter 6. Yeah, Balrog got replaced by Ed, and Ibuki got replaced with Kimberly. Yeah, no Balrog and no Ibuki in Street Fighter 6. It's weird. Yeah, I really think this means no Balrog and no Ibuki.